Get to know yourself. Yourself is the most important employee of your company. So you really got to get to know yourself and make sure you have the right mindsets and the right things going on. The CEO of You Incorporated, that's you. Okay, you're the one in charge. And there's a big difference between when you're starting a business, even if it's a small business, even if you're the only employee, even if you're the only guy, even if you just work out of your garage, out of, some tiny little house somewhere. There's a big difference between seeing yourself as the CEO of your company and seeing yourself as a wage slave. Okay? And it's not just about whether or not you have a job, because there are people who work a job and are paid by an employer that have a CEO mindset. And there's people who own their own business who see themselves as a wage slave, and all they do is pay themselves, and they just feel like all they did was buy themselves a job and they don't really own a company and blah, 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 right? That mindset doesn't necessarily mean one's an employee and one's not. Okay, that mindset's pervasive just about anywhere. I was recently shopping I was at Walmart, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, and as I'm walking in, I don't remember what I was there to buy, seems like I go there 10 times a day, but I'm walking into Walmart, and I know this is over in Daphne where I live, over on the Eastern Shore in Alabama. So I'm walking into Walmart, and the manager, because I had seen him before, he's kind of a big, stocky guy, and as I'm walking, he's walking out, and I can tell he's leaving for the day. Okay, so he's got like his coat and his lunch pail or whatever, and I can tell he's off the clock, right? He's leaving for the day. And as I walk in, he's passing me on the way out, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing, sir? Welcome to Walmart. Good to have you." He's off the clock, not being paid. CEO mindset, okay? And yet, how many times have I been walking through Walmart, person in the store with their little thing on, and I walk by him, and I go, "Hey, do you know where the such and such is?" I'm on break.
Wage slave.
I'm on wage slave, right? Huge difference between the manager who's off the clock and yet friendly, helpful. He sees himself, even though he's an employee, even though he's being paid, he sees him. That's the reason why he's risen to the ranks that he is. Because if you don't know it, a manager of a Walmart store is a six-figure job. The next step, direct manager, is about 150 to 170, because I had a friend who was in that job. Those guys get to a certain level. He got to that level for a reason, and it was because he had a CEO mindset. And that's huge. It doesn't matter whether just you're an employee or not. That mindset makes all the difference in the world, okay? You've got time, skills, experience to market. You have a board of directors. You have to see yourself as an independent business professional. You do a lot of different things. You invest, you do consulting work, etc. In fact, you are right now, even if you have a job, you are doing consulting work for the people you work for. Right now, they just so happen to be paying you a weekly check or whatever for you doing consulting. But the fact is, you work for them, you're lending them your skills, but that doesn't mean you're married to them forever, right? You see yourself as a CEO of you. Let me tell you how this makes a big difference. You're in a group of people and you're networking or whatever, or you go to a party or whatever, and somebody says, "What do you do?" When you see yourself as a wage slave, you do this. "What do you do?" "Oh, I work for GE." "Oh, okay." Kind of a conversation killer, isn't it? "What do you do?" "I work for Walmart." Okay, great. As opposed to the answer of, "What do you do?" "Oh, well, actually, I'm in logistics for, GE, and I help them do blah, 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 blah," whatever it might be. And you tell what you do and how you do it and all the different things you've done. And even though you're working for an employer, all of a sudden you talk about that. And eventually one time you're at a party and another guy goes, "I got a buddy of mine that owns a business that is looking for somebody that does exactly that. And he's willing to pay top dollar." And all of a sudden you get connected. Yeah, it might be moving from one job to another, but it's moving from 50 a year to 100 a year or whatever. It's a difference between, again, seeing yourself as just an employee and just a wage slave and doing the grind, or somebody who sees themselves as the CEO of themselves, of You Incorporated, and living and operating in that manner. A lot of times I have people that join PIG and they say, "Listen, we don't have any money for marketing." It's the reason why is because they don't see themselves as a business, right? You are your business. And so listen, you say, "Well, we've got our monthly budget and that's for our personal bills and stuff, but over here we don't really have a business budget." Oh yeah, you do. You have a budget for You Incorporated. Now what you decide to spend it on, whether it's your $200 a month cell phone bill and your cable and all that other nonsense, that's your choice to do. But you have a business budget for You Incorporated. And like any business, if you want to launch a new product, launch a new business, launch a new marketing campaign, you and your board of directors, wife and 12 kids or whatever the case might be, better sit down and have a board. 8 kids, you better sit down and have a board meeting and say, "What are we going to cut so that we can get You Incorporated where we need to get it?" Okay? Completely different mindset. Makes all the difference in the world.